Good morning, everyone. This is Biz Chicks TV. This is the place where you can find tips and tools to help you do business better. We're here to help you run a profitable business that's fun to run and to take the hassle out of your hustle. And today is Monday, so I'm here with my partner and friend, Miss Francine Gregory, real estate entrepreneur and tech diva. I'm Terralina from California Cover Ups, and we're the Biz Chicks. We want you to sit back, relax, enjoy the conversation, and let's get this brain working so that we can make more money and be even healthier and wealthier. All right, Fran, how you doing this morning?
I am good. I think, okay, they gave me something back on Facebook. My button to share is back at the bottom.
Girl, don't even talk about it. Every time I go in there, I have to retrain my brain to figure out where stuff is.
Yes. So, good morning, everybody watching live and on the replay. Thank you for tuning in from wherever you're tuning in around the world. We do appreciate it. We do not take your attention to this program lightly. We really say thank you for tuning in all these years that you've been tuning in with us and all of our antics every Monday. So today we're going to start this one off with the question of are you comfortable? I get these brain ideas early in the morning, and so early Monday mornings. So today is no different. And are you comfortable? There are 5 words. And when I say these 5 words, I want to know, are you comfortable? Are you comfortable with the word rich, abundant, prosperous, wealthy, successful? Are you comfortable with these words? Rich, wealth, abundance, prosperous, success. Good morning, Cecilia. So think about those words.
Mm-hmm.
Cecilia says, I love those words.
Yes, I love them too, Cecilia. I want those words in my life on a regular basis.
The question came up with, the reason why my question came up was about, there are some people who are not comfortable with those words.
Mm.
When they hear rich, they're not comfortable with that word. They're not comfortable with the word rich or wealthy or abundant or prosperous or success.
Okay, so there is. So then the question becomes, what is comfortable? Because when you think about these words in terms of for yourself in your life, I think you're asking the question, are we comfortable with those words operating in our life, in our vocabulary for us?
Correct.
As
Brenna
well.
said she likes wealthy, prosperous, and abundant. Okay, Brenna, I'm going to challenge you. Do you like rich?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Do you like success? I'm not just picking you out because there were 5 words.
Mm-hmm.
And we need to know these things about ourselves. Does the word rich make you bristle? I'm not talking about Brenna. I'm talking about everybody.
And in general, when you hear the word, what comes to your mind is my question.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think Dallas there's going to be a lot of patricide and fratricide, people killing each other in the family? You know what I mean? It's going to turn into Hamlet. What the heck's going on? Because we're wealthy. And so, what kind of images does rich conjure up for you?
and we're asking this question of all of us. What picture, just like Terry just asked, what picture comes to mind when you say rich? I'm picking on rich right now.
Because, a lot of times, the only time, well, not the only time, most of the times that we see things about the rich is in the news, and it's either a Bernie Madoff, or somebody cheated on their taxes, or somebody ripped somebody off, or some company didn't do the right thing, and people are dying, whatever. And we associate that with, begin to associate rich with greed, or somebody else has to be poor in order for us to be rich. Do you understand what I'm saying? And that is not so. Being wealthy doesn't mean that someone else has to go without, or someone else has to have less.
Correct. There's enough for everybody.
There's more than enough. And I think that's something that conjures up in our minds too.
Right. And the reason why we are talking about this is because as we move forward in our businesses, if we have a challenge with those 5 words, rich, wealth, abundance, prosperity, success, if we have a challenge with any of those, we won't be able to participate.
My glasses help. Go ahead.
We won't be able to participate in it. Mm-hmm. So if the word rich conjures up the greedy people all over the world for you, you're more than likely going to go like, I don't want that. Mm-hmm. When rich is not bad. See, that I guess is the thing. Rich is not a bad word. Being rich does not make you a bad person.
It's not a bad state to be in.
It is not a bad place to be. Mm-hmm. As a matter of fact, you can do more being rich than you can being not rich.
Okay. There you go. So we got some comments over here, but I can't read them, so I'm going to put them up so I can see them better, okay?
Brenna says, I think of food when I hear rich and tasty, flavorful. Okay. And then Cecilia says, I always say I may not be rich in money, but I'm rich in love. Mm-hmm. Good morning, Jill. And I'm putting the I guess I'm gonna make people uncomfortable today. I'm talking about rich with money right now. Mm-hmm. I'm really talking about rich because you notice how we go everywhere?
Mm-hmm. But home to rich.
Right.
Home
yes, you're rich in love. Mm-hmm. But you can be rich in money too.
And rich in health. We want to, and it's a whole state of mind, because I think, especially with our generation, and especially being women, we are taught over and over again as children not to be selfish. Do you have enough for the whole class? Do you have to, all of these little things are built into us. Children eat first. If you're the mom, so you feed the kids first. And so what happens if you pass out? You know what I'm saying? Can there be more? Can the kids generate more food? So all of these things, some things we need to unlearn, because they come from a mindset of scarcity.
Right. Rich is a good word. Mm-hmm. When you are rich, because I was thinking about the definitions and different things, and I tend to think, I try to go a little deeper. Mm-hmm. So there's rich and then there's wealthy, and the rich have wealth. I was reading rich have wealth. So if you are a person that is rich, you have wealth. Wealth is the definition that I like best, is having whatever you need to do whatever you need to do. you're wealthy.
Mm-hmm.
You have whatever you need to do whatever you need to do. So, say for instance, you want to feed um, people in the Congo, or you want to feed people abroad. You're wealthy if you have the resources and the means to do it.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people think Mother Teresa was poor. She wasn't poor. She took and that whole vow of poverty thing is not cool, because you cannot do anything with no money. If you have no goods, how can you be a good Samaritan?
There
The,
you go.
the story of the Good Samaritan was, if you don't know it, the guy got beaten up by some robbers and thieves, and okay, he got jacked in the term the
Let's just go
modern day vernacular. He was mugged,
laying out on the highway. He would.
beat down, whatever you want, and left to die.
Mm-hmm.
A man that was not even of his culture came
Mm-hmm.
and took him to a hotel, paid for his room, paid the doctor to take care of him, and told the people who owned the hotel manager, if that's not enough, I will pay you more when I come back. And he did not know the man. That's the basis of the story of the Good Samaritan. You helping someone you don't even know, using your means to do it.
Mm-hmm.
But if you have no means, how will you do it?
I'm just saying. Now, I was looking at Fran. What is the title of this? I've got about 20 millionaires here. It says 20 of the most generous millionaires and billionaires in the world. Okay. And one of them is a guy named Chuck Finney. It says through duty free shoppers, Chuck Finney once had it all. He was one of the world's richest people, but is now nearly broke because of the Atlantic philanthropies. However, he lost it all on purpose. Forbes calls him the James Bond of philanthropy, since he often clandestinely has given away huge amounts of money to causes for education, human rights, and health.
And see, here's the thing, by him keep giving it away, it's not going to go away. He will always have, because he gives it away.
Because he gives seed to the sower.
He gives, and the man is never going to be broke.
Mm-hmm. And some of us have heard of Ted Turner,
Mm-hmm.
the CNN founder. Ted Turner is one of the wealthiest people whose children won't inherit much. Okay, the media magnate has won several awards for his philanthropy. In 1997, he famously gave away $1 billion for his philanthropy. In 1997, famously gave away $1 billion to the United Nations. As UN Digest says, at the time, he explained it didn't make him any poorer, but that it did make the world better.
See, now the reason why we're talking about these 5 words, and if you're comfortable with the 5 words, is the wealth is not for you. The prosperity is not for you. The success you have is not for you. The rich you have is not for you. The abundance and prosperity you have are not for you. Because after you have a house to live in, you have food to eat, you got clothes to wear, water to drink, and transportation, uh, what more do you need?
It's pretty much a wrap.
For other people. And people like Bill Gates, Bill and Melinda Gates, they're like, all they're doing right now is giving money, building things, and doing other things.
And they started the Givers Club.
Mm.
And in that club are people like Warren Buffett, Okay. All right. And then they sit around and decide, where do we want to collectively as billionaires give our money? Now we have even more impact because we're, coming together and doing our resources. And it's a close knit group of people who all have money. So the thing is, are you comfortable with people who have money?
And are you comfortable? And I guess the question goes back to your original question this morning, Terry, was, are you comfortable with yourself having that, do you see yourself being rich,
Mm-hmm.
prosperous, abundant, successful,
Mm-hmm.
wealthy? Can you see yourself being there?
So,
Can you see that for yourself? Because if you can't, the chances are that you won't. But if you can see yourself doing that, if you can see and if we can see ourselves selling a book, our toys, doing whatever, however we got our wealth, legally and
mm-hmm.
ethically, and then we have it, and then we turn around and help somebody else, because that's the whole purpose of having it, to do what you need to do when you need to do it. Okay, so maybe you're not at the Bill Gates, I'm in the Givers Club, but you are in the Givers Club because you can, somebody who needs, you see someone, or I heard a story the other day where the guy was in line and the lady put $5 worth of gas, she bought $5 worth of gas, and he knew that wasn't going to be enough because gas in California is almost $5 a gallon. So that wasn't going to be enough. So he gave her another 20. It blessed her. She was, oh my gosh, because she needed to get where she needed to go. And she didn't ask anybody. She just took the $5 she had, and he turned around and gave 20. No, it didn't break his bank account. He had more to give. Okay, his car is full, kids' car is full, everybody's car is full. He's now able to give out of the extra.
Exactly. The overflow, girl.
Right, the abundance.
Oh, I like that word, the abundance.
Right, you cannot give out of abundance if you don't have abundance.
And then the question is, what is the purpose of your wealth? And do you need to have that purpose clear before you even begin to be able to receive wealth? Because right now you may be comfortable right where you are because you don't have any extra needs. But what is it that's really on your heart that you would like to see changed? Would you like to leave a legacy for your children? An inheritance for your children's children? I'm looking at this guy, Azim. He's one of the richest people in India. And it says he's given away 63% of his wealth. Now you can get over that 10% and get a little.
Do a little more, because how many pair of shoes can you wear at one time?
Okay. And you really need to give some away to get some more in there anyway, because you can't even find them. You got some.
And today's conversation is all about rethinking what these words mean to us and getting comfortable with being rich.
Because you will repel anything you're not comfortable with.
Right.
You don't want that little mosquito buzzing around. You know what I'm saying? But if that mosquito is carrying wealth and health, and maybe you want to get used to having it buzz around.
And we need to change our connotation of rich.
Mm-hmm.
I need to not see rich as a bad thing.
Exactly.
I need not see it as, oh, that's just because we hear the word filthy rich. No, rich does not have to be filthy.
And will we aspire to it if we perceive it to be that? Now let's see. Brenda says you
You
only
only
have
have
2
2
feet.
feet.
Amen, brother.
And, we don't know let's see what Jill says right here. Even if you don't have enough money to give at a particular moment, you can have a mindset of wanting to give. At least have the want in your mind and on your heart.
Mhm.
Right.
So,
And at some point, that want is going to materialize as you continue to grow, because that's the thing I've always wanted to do. I've always wanted to give into this particular charity, or I've always wanted to give into this particular cause. I've always wanted to help children with school supplies. I've always wanted to do this. Whatever that thing is, you're going to need to have rich wealth to do it on a grander scale, to do it on a bigger scale. And it doesn't mean that you're going to brag about it. It just means that you have the means to do it.
mhm,
Terry and I are talking today about being comfortable with having the means to do big things.
mhm. And not feeling that it's selfish to be rich or wealthy or prosperous or have abundance. The question is, are you going to build a bigger barn, or are you going to are you going to help somebody with it?
Distribute it to someone else.
Mhm,
You don't have to keep it. When you get it, when you get the wealth, when you get the abundance and the success, and your success happens every day anyway. But as you are getting it, you don't have to keep it. You can give it away. Who was it? J. Paul Getty,
mhm.
or who had the library?
Carnegie.
Carnegie. He gave that stuff away. He's like,
We have free Carnegie libraries in every neighborhood in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, because of Andrew Carnegie.
and a lot of people tried to say he was this steel baron that was ruthless. He wasn't doing all that. He was trying to give it away. Thomas Edison, the guys, all that they used to have a mastermind together. Was it Ford and Edison and all of them? They got together. They tried to
Rockefeller.
figure out how to give the money away. Warren Buffett only gave his kids a certain amount of money, and the rest of it he gave it away.
Yep. And
To
I'm looking at this guy, Carlos Heliu. He made much of his money in mobile technology. He says while he owned charitable foundations and his donations to other charities help causes like fighting poverty, improving health care and education and conservation, he believes that the key to improving lives is education and job opportunities. So, according to Forbes, Mexico's richest person has launched an online platform that provides free education and job training. That's going to change some lives. But
and
in his heart, he always wanted to provide a better education for the people in his country. So he
right,
check it out. He just went online. He
and
made
did
money with technology anyway.
now, some of us have a passion for our culture.
Mhm.
If you have the means to be able to give them better education and do whatever things that you wanted to do for your particular culture, how can you help women who are being trafficked, however that word is, trafficked? How can you help that? There are charities, there are ministries, there are organizations who go in and bring the women out of those type of things that you can give into. Maybe you are not going into the places where they are, but you can fund the ones who are going.
So now that's J.K. Rowling. She says she runs Volet, a charitable trust that supports a variety of causes, especially focusing on women and children. Here's the deal, too, friend. We have a certain amount of wealth right now, and what you do one way, you'll do all the time. What you do,
How
when
you do
you
one
do
thing is
that,
how you do everything.
yes, thank you. So there's Amazon Smile. Amazon Smile allows you to give every time you buy something on Amazon.
Right.
And you can go in and select the charity that supports your causes. And that can be the beginning of, this is where I want to go with this once I reach a certain level of wealth and riches.
So talking about Amazon, they put that in there to give back.
And they didn't have to.
They did not have to write that into the script. Where do you want us to give part of our proceeds? Where do you want us to give part of this?
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
And they're asking you where, and here's something else. You can suggest one of your charities that may not be on their list. You can say, I want to do it for this particular charity.
I know that my sorority has a tab, and we can go in there, and when we buy things, and then it goes to the foundation, and then we help different causes, scholarships, and trafficking, voter registration, different things that we support through the foundation. So you can go in there and find something that connects with what you want to do, because it's a seed sown to grow something bigger as your business grows. Did you know that it's Nicki Minaj? Is that how you pronounce her name? Okay, it says here she's been donating secretly to a village in India for years, and in 2017 she paid off some of her fans' student loans. I know some people would go, whoo! As a pop sugar says, she also has a scholarship program to help more fans with student debt. So, you can do something for the little guy. It doesn't have to be, you don't have to save the whole nation.
Your part, whatever your part is. Once again, wealth is having whatever you need to do whatever it is you want to do. Wealth is okay.
Yeah. And Amal Clooney, it says that they donated $500,000 to March for Our Lives, and another 100,000 to help migrant children. People need help.
And the newscasters are not showing us
that side,
the good side of the rich. They're showing us everybody else that got issues. You understand? And we
are misusing their wealth. Yeah.
We have to recognize that they're going to show, okay, what did they say in the TV industry? If it bleeds, it leads.
Yes.
So they're not showing us the good news, the good that you can do with whatever wealth that you have. They're showing us everybody else that did not do it. We've seen, like you said, Barney Madoff and Epstein and whatever the other dude is.
Yeah, all the crazy part.
They're not showing us the good side. So we have to, 2020 is a year of focus. Where is our focus? I can focus on being rich and not feel guilty about it. Why? Because I know what I'll do when I get it. I'll know what I do.
And just because you're rich doesn't mean you have to be famous. A lot of people don't want to be rich because they don't want to be in the news. They don't want everybody to know, be knocking at their door. We need 1 million and we need 500,000. And can you give to this?
You said that, Terry. You don't need to be famous to be rich. Now, that show that used to come on, Lifestyle of the Rich and Famous, that started probably pictures in people's minds and started equating rich with being famous. You don't have to be
and famous. With goods, having certain goods. If you're rich, you have to have a yacht, and then you got to have a crew, and then you got to have a yada yada yada.
They have all that. They got quiet millionaires. We don't hear about the quiet millionaires. My husband's aunt was one of them. She owned several KFCs. And you won't hear about this Um, but we did her story. I did it with story with the who people, the Library of Congress or something when
The
they had
Library of
the show.
Congress and with PBS.
Yes, and so I was like, we need to tell her story. She was working at a diner in Utah, I believe it was, and so uh, Colonel Sanders and another guy approached her because they were going to open up KFCs in California and they wanted somebody to run it. They asked her to run the first one.
And she was working at the Dewdrop Inn.
Mm-hmm. She was at the Dewdrop Inn, and they asked her to, we're going to open up this restaurant in California. Do you want to come? So she left Utah, her and her family, and anybody who's lived in Sacramento knew about the KFC on Broadway and Alhambra. That was hers. Lines out the door because she had good common sense and good business sense, and she was very wealthy, but she was quiet about it. Very quiet. Nobody knew. Nobody knew her.
And some of you sitting in this audience right now may be quiet millionaires. You may not even know it. I have a friend who, when her husband passed, he had been a janitor for the public school system. And when she opened up his portfolio, which she knew nothing about, she was a multimillionaire, and so was her daughter, just overnight, because he had been steadily investing. So you need to have a plan for when you do reach rich and prosperous, that you have a healthy state of mind, that you're comfortable with these words, because otherwise you may just pop up and just give it all away because you don't want it. You're like, oh no, I'm not good enough. I'm like, wait a minute. You need a plan.
You need a plan for prosperity. You need a plan so when it comes, you know what to do, how to handle it. And that's Kevin's aunt. She had people who helped her with her investments. She had help.
Mm-hmm.
Hey,
I had help.
So she had help with her investments. She had help, and she had sought wise counsel.
Uh-huh.
And she still lived modestly. She didn't live in a big mansion somewhere with a pool and horses and yachts and all of that. She just lived quietly on the street. Nobody knew.
Mm-hmm.
I can tell you all the story. She said, come with me. I want to buy a car. And so we went to go buy, we went to the car dealership. She was going to buy the car. And so the guy said, okay, so typical salesperson at
Whatever.
car dealership. And he said, okay, so how do you think? She picked out the car she wanted. So how do you want to pay for it? He began to ask her
About the
fill
finance.
out the application for financing and stuff. And actually she was going to pay cash for the car. But it went on because she wasn't dressed in the norm, she wasn't dressed all up with pearls and stuff. So she just like, I just want to buy the car. He said, okay, let's fill out this application. Let's do this. And put her through the whole application and everything. And then she said, well, I'm going to put the money down. I'll bring the down payment or whatever. And he thought he was doing some big things. And the clerk, the next day when she came in, she brought the check to pay the whole car off.
Mm-hmm.
And the clerk said, those idiots, because she was going to pay for it right then. But they just assumed because she wasn't dressed like you would think. And when he said, well, where do you work? She said KFC. And he was like, oh, well, she must not have no money, not knowing she owned KFCs.
My grandfather used to do that all the time, because every 2 years he would buy a brand new Chrysler, and he would pay cash for it. And he would go in his work clothes because he worked in the coal mines. And but he ran a business on the side, so he had money coming in, and yeah, the reaction was the same till
so,
till they got to know him. It
right.
was like, oh, that's Mr.
Your name changed, your whole their whole demeanor changes toward you. But what we're talking about here is nobody. What you just said means that you don't have to quit your day job when you become wealthy. You can still keep doing what you do. You don't have to go and change your whole lifestyle. Just
And
do
you don't have to broadcast it if you don't want, people to be for whatever your reasons.
you don't have to have a mansion on rolling hills and butlers and maids and stuff if you want to have that.
It's okay too.
Right. But let's get comfortable.
Well, here's one.
5 words.
Halika Shing, Hong Kong billionaire, has found one of the best things to do after retirement, focusing on his charitable foundation, which he calls his third son, according to Business Insider. His foundation supports a variety of causes, including a university, and a donation of $25 million has helped establish this University of Alberta's Institute of Virology. So, people have things they want to do.
And you can practice on small stuff. Just start where you are. Go ahead. So what we're telling you, to sum it all up, receive being rich, wealthy, prosperous, abundant, successful. Receive it all, and then have a plan to give it to wherever you want to give it. Keep some for yourself. It is okay.
Exactly. Being rich is not selfish.
It is not. Matter of fact, we need you to be rich so you can change the world.
Mm-hmm.
You can do a better job changing the world rich than you can if you are poor.
And you don't have to have some for the whole class. Let's see what Cecilia says here. Hey, Maureen, how you doing? Thanks for dropping by.
Cecilia said, yes and amen. I receive all of the above. It is okay.
Yep.
So think about it today. If those words bother you, or you feel a little something, you feel some kind of, you know how they say now, if you feel some kind of way about those words, why do you feel some kind of way about those words? If you don't, but if you are comfortable with those words, embrace it, and let's change the world. Our world around us, we can do some stuff to change our world. And it's okay to change. We change the world around us, then we change a bigger part, and then we affect an even bigger part. You can be one of the ones that are in the giving club with Bill Gates,
Warren
Buffett, and some of the other ones. You can be there, and it's okay. So that's all I have for today.
Change your vocabulary, change your mind.
Right. It's okay. Rich is okay. It's okay to be rich.
All right. Give you permission. If you need permission, we'll give you permission to be rich.
The says it's okay to be rich.
All right. Okay. Call us if you need to talk through it. Okay. All right. With that, I want to remind everybody that tomorrow is Tuesday. We'll be here with Terry Johnson online talking social media marketing. On Wednesday, we will be talking with Coach Karen, getting your mind together so you can handle your money better. On Thursday, we will be talking with Robin Shimizu and friends, Happy Healthy Habits. And on Friday, we talk tech in English with the Tech Weekly. So with that, we want to remind you, don't forget to go to the front of your own line. Have a great day. Bye-bye.